So dear student, let us have the detailed solutions for afternoon sessions. In the afternoon session, 2 marks questions are 3 and 1 mark questions. The weight is 7 marks. From where we had these 3 questions? Okay, when you see the details, inventory control, uh, 2 marks, inventory control 2 marks, aggregate planning, and MRP 2 marks. So inventory control 2 marks, aggregate planning 2 marks, forecasting. From this topic there was a question for 2 marks. CPM and PET 1 mark, total 7 marks. So what is the interesting thing? So first time we had a question in aggregate planning and MRP 2 marks, and very easy, by observation we can answer. Inventory control manufacturing model was given. In forecasting, very simple thing, mean absolute forecast error. In CPM and PET there was a question related to standard deviation. So what are the questions? Like, let us have the first question from inventory control. Here he has given daily production capacity of a bearing manufacturing company 30,000 bearings. So daily production. So production rate, generally I use K. Production rate is equal to 30,000 per day. What about consumption rate? Daily demand. Demand is nothing but consumption. Consumption rate. Small d. 15,000 units per day. Okay, when they mention production consumption, it is related to production model, and moreover, economic batch quantity number of bearings, and it is a setup cost. These are the keywords. Then one can understand it is a manufacturing or production model. So production rate, consumption rate given, and what else available? Cost per year, holding cost per unit per year, that is CC, holding cost. CC is equal to 20 per unit per year. So yearly carrying cost, that is per 1 unit. Setup cost, generally I use C0, rupees 1,800 per setup. What is missing? Yearly demand. So daily demand available, yearly demand, how do you calculate? 300 working days in a year. So I am just taking yearly demand, capital D is equal to daily demand 15,000 into how many working days? 300. So 300 working days. So I'll get capital D. We are supposed to find out economic batch size, EBS. So what is the formula for EBS? EBS is equal to EOQ. EOQ formula under root of 2D C0 by CC. So EOQ, extra factor, that is K divided by K minus D. So generally I used to insist, just remember EOQ formula and extra factor that should be greater than 1. So K upon K minus D. By mistake, if you take K minus D by K, it is less than 1. So just it is understood, it should be greater than 1. And substitute the values. Square root of 2 into 15,000 into 300 into 1,800 divided by 20 under root 30,000 divided by 30,000 minus 15,000. So once you simplify this, how much you will get? It is equal to Just check it out. 40,243 units. So 40,243 units. Next, the demand and forecast of an item for 5 months given. So this question from forecasting, and what we are supposed to find out, mean absolute percentage error, MAPE, and straightforward demand forecast. So absolute error, first of all, absolute error is equal to mod dt minus ft, and percentage means absolute error divided by actual demand into 100, then you will get percentage error, that absolute percentage error. And mean absolute percentage error means, then what is the formula for MAPE? MAPE is equal to 1 by n sigma dt minus ft. It is nothing but absolute deviation or absolute error divided by dt into 100. If I do this, it is equal to absolute percentage error and sum divided by n, then you will get MAPE. So we need dt minus ft, that absolute value, and percentage. So I'm just taking this one is dt ft and month is t. So dt minus ft. First I'm taking absolute error. Difference 225 minus 200, 25. 220 minus 240, 20. Here 15, 20 and 20. Percentage. So this dt eft divided by dt into 100. So what we will take, dt minus ft, 25 divided by 225. 25 divided by 225 into 100, it is equal to, let's just check it out, 11.11. This one 20 divided by 240 into 100, it is equal to 9.09. 15 divided by 285, sorry, this one 220. 15 divided by 285 into 100, it is equal to 5.26. 20 divided by 290 into 100, it is equal to 6.89. 20 divided by 250 into 100, 8. This total value, sum we can take, this is equal to 40.35. Okay, sigma dt minus ft in mod divided by dt into 100, 40.35. But our interest MAPE, MAPE is equal to this 40.35 divided by how many months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. It is equal to 8.05 is the answer. It's a matter of 1 minute. So what exactly we're doing? Difference we're taking and that percentage. So coming to this question. So this question from aggregate planning. So what he has given, there are M products and N workstations. So M products and N workstations. AIJ. So here AIJ refers to processing time of ith product and jth workstation. So A refers to processing time. H refers to holding cost. H is holding cost. Next, the important information, decision variables. S is nothing but sold. X, amount to be produced. So X refers to amount produced, S refers to amount sold. So important parameters are these two, amount sold out and amount produced. And he has given the mathematical model. So R refers to revenue from ith product, S refers to sold out units, and H refers to amount retained. H is nothing but inventory cost, holding cost. I, amount retained or amount left over. Of course, this is a maximization of revenue, and he has given this S is nothing but sold out and D demand. So he clearly mentioned D refers to demand, and capacity constraint, inventory balance constraint, and okay, of course this mathematical model you just don't bother about this. Then what is to be calculated first? Capacity constraint and inventory balance. So which is very easy, first you do it, then the leftover you can do afterwards. Inventory balance you can manage easily, inventory balance. So what is inventory actually? Inventory always related to sold, how much we produce and how much we sold. So the produced quantity, if it is sold out, then you cannot get any inventory. So from the options, you can work out from the options. A teeth period inventory is equal to previous inventory. So previous inventory plus production minus sold out. So generally last week, maybe last period, whatever inventory left over, that should be now available quantity, and this period also we are producing something. So what could be the available capacity with us? IIT minus 1 plus XIT. So this is correct actually. This is what we have right now, previous balance, like a previous inventory plus so this period production. So this will become the stock available with us, and how much we are selling. So in that particular period, so this period I am selling S units. So what could be the balance? This is correct actually. So inventory, I'm just writing inventory for period T. Inventory for period T is equal to previous inventory, previous stock plus current period production minus current period sold out units. So IIT is equal to previous IIT minus 1 plus whatever production is nothing but actually they mentioned X is nothing but production. From the X amount produced, X is production. S refers to sold out units. I refers to inventory. So current period production X and IT minus SIT. So this is the equation for inventory constraint. Now we had inventory constraint, so easily we can calculate inventory constraint is equal to IIT minus 1 plus XIT minus SIT. So which is matching? So option A, option B, IIT minus 1 plus XIT, and sorry, this is not correct, DIT is, it is not correct. So option C, A and C matching. Okay, regarding inventory, and this is also wrong, and we can remove option B and option D. Just I am using the options, based on options I am answering. So inventory point of view, A seems to be correct and C is also correct, inventory point of view. Next, capacity constraint. Capacity constraint, then how much we have produced. Like generally the capacity is depending upon C. C is nothing but capacity. So whatever you produce, that should be every workstation will have some capacity. He has given clearly, C refers to capacity. So CJT is nothing but capacity of the workstation CJ. Okay, C refers to workstation capacity. Workstation capacity. Now we will move to the constraint, capacity constraint. Capacity constraints compulsory for every workstation. We cannot produce more than C. Like in the right hand side, compulsory C should be there. I have two options right now, A and C. So which one I can take? Suppose if I take A, C is available in the right hand side. If I choose C, D is nothing but demand. So this is not correct. So what is the right answer here? A. So what could be the capacity constraint? Just once verify that. A is nothing but like maybe that is a processing time for ith product, and X, how many units of like a particular product X. So this will become now production requirement, or maybe whatever you are producing for using one workstation. So this requirement should not be exceeding capacity or maybe available capacity. So what is the available capacity of each and every workstation? CJ is nothing but workstation capacity. So your requirement should not be more than the available capacity. So answer is option A. So it's only based on options we can work out. And this is the last question from CPM and PET. It is very easy. So one more question, of course, 30 seconds enough. Standard deviation of critical path. So sigma CP is equal to, so what we are going to do? Under root variance of critical path. This is known to us, under root of variance of critical path. And he has given 9 activities, and each activity standard deviation is 3. So 9 activities, and the standard deviation of sigma is equal to 3. So what is the variance value? 3 square, 9. For each activity variance is equal to 9. So 9 into 9. So square root of 81, that is sigma CP is equal to 9. Okay, standard deviation of critical path is equal to 9.